After years of conflict, there is growing fear that Russia is going to attack Ukraine as thousands of troops are positioned near the country's border. Canada is helping through financial aid and messages of moral support. Yet many Ukrainians living here feel more needs to be done as the situation intensifies.
You know, you have COVID, which is shining an unpleasant light on things. And then on top of that, you have this military exercise of Putin.
Russia wants a guarantee NATO will not expand to include Ukraine and other former Soviet nations or place weapons there. The president of the Ukrainian National Federation, Yuri Klufas, was recently on a Zoom call with his family who lives in Ukraine.
It's definitely morally unstabilizing, and it creates, it sort of takes away the happiness of life, having an army on your border.
U of T professor of international relations Oral Brown says it's a worrisome situation for Ukrainians.
Ukraine is much weaker than Russia. Even though Russia is not a superpower, they're only a remnant of a superpower. They have more than 3 times the population. They have vastly greater armed forces. They have used those armed forces in the invasion of parts of Ukraine already.
Why should us here in Canada be afraid of what's happening right now?
About 14,000 people have died already, but it would be a frontal assault on Ukraine and a frontal assault on international law. There would be vast numbers of refugees from Ukraine. Some of them would want to come to Canada.
The Canadian government announced Friday it will be giving a loan of up to $120 million to support Ukraine's economic resilience and development. Canada has loaned Ukraine money in the past and fully supports its sovereignty and independence. Brown says while the money is helpful, what Ukraine actually needs is defense weapons.
Russia is much more likely to act. This is what we saw in the past when Vladimir Putin sees a soft target. The Ukrainian government itself has pleaded with the world, and including Canada, for defensive weapons. They're saying, you don't need to send your troops to fight for us, but give us the weapons so we can defend ourselves.
Klufas agrees. He says the Canadian way of doing things just won't work in the Russia-Ukraine conflict.
Yeah, and our thinking is non-aggression. Our thinking is, you know, let's talk it out, but you can't do that with a bully.
Professor Brown says the Ukrainian government needs a significant flow of these defensive weapons to show Russia that an attack against Ukraine will not be easy and will end up very costly. For City News, I'm Maleeha Sheikh.